All right, thanks for finding us here on YouTube. I'm meteorologist John Dawson. This is the Fox 26 Tropical Update. Always here every afternoon with a fresh update and a take on what's happening in the tropics. And it seems like most of this year we've been talking about the Pacific or the Eastern Pacific side of things. And mainly that's because there just hasn't been that much going on in the Atlantic. And I will say there's definitely activity happening in the Eastern Pacific, but we're not really going to cover that today. We are going to focus on the Atlantic, and because this is now the time of the year when we're getting into the expectations of the Atlantic side of things to become more active. And sure enough, right on cue, we are beginning to see some more activity that the National Hurricane Center is definitely keeping an eye on. So overall, though, there are no tropical systems right now, but by the end of the week that might be a different case. Things are looking relatively quiet. That Saharan dust is still floating around out there, helping to kind of prevent things from forming. You know, it doesn't really just stop it completely, but it definitely kind of doesn't encourage it either. It's not one of the contributing factors. So this sort of a mess of storms that we're looking at right here, and you noticed as we zoomed in, here's Africa. So we're not very far from Africa. And this is off of the coast, I would stay still, and it is far away from the U.S. at this time. But this is kind of what we're looking at, and the National Hurricane Center is also looking at it. It's a tropical wave, and it's sort of some disorganized thunderstorms that are kind of going along with that, and we're going to continue to watch this cluster of storms as it continues to move over the next couple of days, and with that, moving into some slightly more favored areas. So I was pointing at more or less where some aggressive thunderstorms are happening right now. That possibility of a low trying to get more organized is a little bit further back to the east at this point in time, and that particular set of storms will be continuing to move where we're now seeing those more stronger storms happening. And all of this orange area is where we're in a 5-day period, the National Hurricane Center says, from 3 to 5 days. This is where we would think a 40% chance that we could have a tropical cyclone. So remember, it would probably be a tropical depression to begin with. It gets a number, and then when we get to a tropical storm, we'll name it, and then we'll keep going from there and see what happens. So even within the next couple of days, a 20% chance, but most likely 3 to 5 days away. And I'm going to show you a Futurecast right now of what we're talking about. This is the GFS model, and you can see it sort of picking up on some heavier rainfall that's out there. And as we move through time, we really start to look for that closed circulation. So in a model like this, we start looking for these winds to sort of show that closed circulation. That circle, we're looking for that closed circle of winds where they swirl around like that. And this is when we start thinking that it could be a tropical system. Now, I didn't put an icon on here for a depression or a tropical storm because a Futurecast like this with so much disorganization and so many questions still involved, it's not even exactly sure what it could be. But definitely this could be something, a low pressure system of some kind. And look here where we are on our time. It's Wednesday, 2 a.m. So that's about to that 3-day time period what we were talking about from the National Hurricane Center. So let's move forward a little bit more in time. You can kind of continue to watch a little bit that swirl, that circle of winds, continuing to show the possibility of a low pressure system and these organized storms getting a little bit more around it. You don't have to have the low pressure right in the middle of the strongest of storms. It's actually quite common to have the stronger storms not completely surrounded. They're sticking to one side or another depending on all of those environments. So this Futurecast stops on Friday, so still with that circulation that's there, keeping an eye on it. And this, again, is one of the reasons why the National Hurricane Center is watching this area. And so this was just one of our computer models, and there's a lot of them out there that could be accessed and used as well as some other resources to really determine what's happening and what it looks like at the moment. So we'll continue to watch it and move. And like I said, it's about a 20% chance in 2 days, 40% chance in 3 to 5 days. So just kind of a reminder as far as this activity of storms that kind of fire up a little bit. We're going to have a very specific time period here from August the 8th to August the 15th. So in a week, this 1 week period, dating all the way back to 1850, what does it look like as far as of things developing or that could be out there, and you could see it could be quite active during this time period, and it's not something that's always quiet. Again, we're looking at a long range, but even so, look at the different systems that could even have been in southeast Texas during this particular time period. So that's kind of an interesting look at how active we see things, and it even begins to increase more as we move a little further with time. And some of these are not just a tropical storm or a hurricane, but it's stronger hurricanes as well, with the categories 3 and 4 of a possibility. And even down here below, we see a Cat 5 hurricane that made landfall closer down into Mexico with that same time period. So lots of activity could be happening during this time of the year, historically speaking, and we do expect things to pick up the pace a little bit. So make sure you've downloaded the Fox 26 weather app. Make sure that you're following me on social media, at John Dawson, Fox 26. Twitter is what I use when things are active and happening. Facebook is what I use when there's more discussion involved. And Instagram is what I use for the hurricane preparedness. And I like to have a little bit more fun on there as well. So it's not quite as business sometimes on the Instagram side of things. So that's always good. For example, there might be a picture from a birthday party of mine on there that was posted recently. I'm not promising you that, but that's definitely the type of activity that could be happening on Instagram. Again, it's at John Dawson, Fox 26. Hey, thanks again for finding us here on YouTube. As I mentioned earlier, we'll be back here every day, including the weekends in the afternoons, a little bit after 4 p.m.